Viewers, and welcome to a stream, bit of a late night stream. I said I'll do a later one for some of you guys, a bit later than I was anticipating, mind you, but I'm going to have my first race this week, and I thought, why not? Again, I enjoyed this Tokyo circuit in practice, so I haven't had a chance to practice the other ones yet, so we'll see how we get on with this today. It's exciting. So I'm at my D class rank now. Actually, I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to just bring up your chat for late night Alan Radio. Okay, that's and the chat system is not working, which is a bit strange on my software. Typical. Okay. Well, there we have it. So if you do chat, hopefully it'll work. I have no idea. My chat software is not working as it normally does. Right, so off we go. Let's learn a bit of driving and see how we get on. Bit of a late night one, this one. So if you're streaming and you're watching now, it will be on Twitch, Facebook and YouTube and Mixer, so you'll be able to find us in all those areas. And if you're on Twitch, I'll gradually be decorating the channel to make it look better. And here we are then. We've got a couple of minutes till the race starts, so do say hello. If you said hello, say hello again, because the chat thing wasn't working a moment ago, but it should be working now. Okay, so that needs to change then. Still working out when best to change gear, basically. It's just taking a little bit of time to learn the course. But we're gradually improving our times. And then we'll be ready to at least compete with everybody. And we've got Heel Race Driver in the room. Hello, bonjour. A bit slow around there, wasn't I? Again, some of these corners I'm trying to find sort of a consistent line, if not a... Right, so I broke too early that time. Let's see how we get on this time. So race will begin in just a few seconds, so we won't get to put in a time. We'll see where we end up. So it shows just because I was slower down that straight, I lost 1 second into this first corner. There you go, look at that. 1 second, if you exit the final corner wrong, almost 1.2 seconds. So that's interesting. That's going to be interesting too, how to knock off that time as well, isn't it? In case I get a penalty like that, I'll be keeping an eye out to minimise that. So I don't think we're going to be winning any races this week. I think last week, dare I say it, was the course had its own little complexities, Daisy, that suited me. Whereas this week, I think the long back straight is going to drag everybody back together again. And it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Also, there's not so many overtaking places. I find it's, unless people make mistakes, these are sort of mid to high speed corners, and they're going to be quite challenging to maximise. So we're just preparing to match, and then after that we'll be ready to go. Okay, so let's see how we get on, what the room is like. Nice, and I'm in pole position for the race. So pole position time by over a second, which is a nice surprise, and that puts us in a good position if we can get cleanly through the first lap or so. This race is fun, but also bad luck. Right, thanks for the good news. I will see if I can. I think I just need to get through the first corner, and then I can be in a good position. My headphones get a little tangled. Okay. Let's go then. Let's go. A bit of excitement. So we've got a few seconds to warm up in, so we'll just sort of sit here, I think. Just sort of, you know, stare at the car. We'll limber. That's a bit shocking, isn't it? The way you just drive through the other car. We can see all the other car models. That's quite interesting. Limber up, and then we'll be ready to race. Well, that was that. Okay then, here we go then. Wish me luck, viewers. Right, let's see how we go. No talking now, it's going to be focused. And the wing, the thing he wants in the room, hello, as I say that. So looking at those times, top 5 finish is the aim. Now we can lose the race into turn 1, but we don't want to. We're going to brake a little bit early. Give this guy a little bit of space. We're taking it just a bit easy here because we want to get into the race. Okay, we're taking it a little bit gingerly just because I don't want to push limits at the moment. And we'll get more into the rate if we can just maintain a solid lead. A little bit slow through there, but that's okay. We don't need to be on the limit. Okay, this lap we're going to push a bit harder now. See if we can actually just brake this toe properly. Fuel's at 81%, so fuel is going down quite quickly, but I'd rather just keep the lead. And try and improve. 2:10, so not a great lap from me. I'll really try pushing a bit harder this time, conscious of the fuel situation. Seem to get the speed out of the car I would in quali. Still, as long as we're just consistent. Oh, what a disaster there. Guy behind me, Johnny speed bumps pretty quick. These guys are in my slipstream constantly. It's really hard just getting them out of it. Lap times are poor. Strange. I'd need a good lap now, don't I? Full flat. Come on. Need a better lap. Terrible. Terrible. I haven't got my speed right at all. Damn, I was right on it yesterday. figure that most people are going to pit this time, but it might be better for me just to keep a clean track and clear track and stay out. How far behind can you slipstream? I have no idea, but look, that was a very poor lap from me. What's going on with my lap times? Damn, I just can't get the car to brake where it normally would. That's ruined my race. Tyres are gone. Oh well. Oh, it's a 7-lap race, not an 8-lap. That's why the tyres have completely gone. Oh, that explains it. Is everybody pitting, or? Oh, well, let's just stay out, see what happens then. I don't think anyone's pitting. Everybody's been looking after their tyres. Ah, well. Well, that was a learning experience again, wasn't it? Never mind. I'm not going to pull out another second this lap, am I? Always learning. It's very frustrating. I didn't realise nobody was pitting, otherwise I would have looked after my tyres a lot more. It didn't knock down any of my time then. I tried to get some of my time knocked off and I should have just driven it. Well, frustrating, but there we go. A learning experience. A learning experience, that one. It's placed me as first. Has it placed me as first? Oh, he had a penalty as well. I'll believe it when it tells me after all this. So, was that a win? I don't know. It says I'm winning there. I'll believe it when I see it. That was quite frustrating, actually. Ah, I could have done much better than that had I known that we weren't stopping and I could have looked after my tyres. That was quite a strange race, viewers, actually. I was 3 seconds a lap off of my qualifying time. I'm really struggling on grip. Right, I beat him, so that works. Okay. I am a noob at this. This is my 7th race on GT, so still learning. So let's see who we've got in the room. Oh, we do have a victory, so it is confirmed then. Okay. I pulled out the second on the final lap I needed. Just by being, you'll notice I was being very careful in that final lap, so okay. So we've got Paul Ryder, over 5 seconds. Paul, Wicked Juice, the thing you want. Thanks guys for tuning in and watching the racing there. Yeah, I tried to reduce the penalty. Brilliant. I don't know how you say thank you to people, but is it on here? I don't know. Do you know what? Let's just leave that to another day. Brilliant. Thanks, mate, if you're watching. That was actually quite a stressful race. Actually, that was quite a stressful race. I found that whole race just really draining and frustrating. So next one's going to start in 8 minutes, and I've turned off the menu music because they kept on attacking all the monetization options on YouTube, and I had like a 3-hour stream with a 1-minute piece of music. It demonetized the entire videos. Quite frustrating. Okay, so we'll enter into the next one as well. Square button opens chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. There are words there where I can say thank you to the person. That's mainly it. Kurt says, amazing I kept control of worn tyres. Lots of experience on different games. I realised very quickly, oh, we're not driving the way I thought we were. You know, the other day on the Tokyo circuit we were driving to the limit, whereas here it was very much about control. So you know, just sort of quickly adapting to And that final lap, I just thought, no, we have to just take it progressively. There was literally no grip in the tyres on that final lap. It was so it might be better to use the medium tyres on this and the soft tyres. It's very difficult to say, isn't it, really? The fall off on the tyres was quite significant. But then again, it depends when we look at car settings. I mean, what have we got? So we can use racing medium. So I guess if we try racing medium out on a race, we could see how we get on. But it depends with fuel on board and everything else. Getting track position might be difficult. Let's just try racing medium just to see how we get on. And we've got nothing to lose other than the race itself. And I think that I've got to practice, haven't I? I've got to try and understand this because so racing mediums might help us towards the end of the race if we can keep ourselves in the top 5 for the first half of the race. Sometimes it also depends on who you're up against. Now, if you know you're up against, really, the loss of time is far greater. Let's just have a little look to see what it's like in braking just on the standard qualifying trim. Got 5 minutes to make our mind up, haven't we? So okay, so there is a loss, 2-second loss per lap. What to do? Fall off on these tyres won't be as high. I mean, those other tyres were really struggling at the end there. These tyres are moving around a lot, aren't they? really struggle through that corner as well, don't they? What to do, viewers? What to do, viewers? This is this is a conundrum. We're gonna go back to the well, we can't exit there. Right, well, for now, let's just do another race on the soft. Now we know, at least, at the very least, that we have to protect these tyres. Kurt wanted to buy one of these wheels, very nice wheels. They are on pre-order. Blimey, they've sold out already. That'll be successful for Fanatec. It's no surprise, really. I mean, it's a nice wheel. Yeah, so I think what to do really is the question. We're going to go to soft tyres again. I'm not really certain. I'd like to see. I'll have to do a race where I risk it and just go into a race with the mediums. Because if the mediums really come into their own in those last couple of laps, you could be like 6 seconds faster in the last 2 laps, but 10 seconds slower in the rest of the race. So it's really just a case of trying to figure out what's going to happen, what the best way is to go. So we're just going to hang. We're just going to hang and watch watch a little bit of this, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. Let's see. All right, so another race, and then Kevin says adjust the brakes. That's a good point, but it's probably better I practice that in the problem. This is the problem with adjusting the brakes. It's much easier to do when you have tyre wear and fuel on board, and you know how it's going to change the balance of the car. I'm going to be a little bit uncertain as to the balance. Whereas at least I know that with some of the wear issues I can counter for it and alter the style of my driving to suit it rather than changing the balance. It would be nice if I could practice with fuel sometimes, because of course and forgive, you know, if anyone knows how to practice with fuel, do let me know, because where am I? So second place again, a couple of A's. Where am I? I'm a C now. Yay, I've made it to a C. So, and you can see this room is very competitive. So my time is equivalent to an A+ there, which is nice. So that's competitive. We've got S's and A's. Goodness me, this is a tough room, isn't it? This is a tough room in terms of qualifying. So in actual fact, in this room, I think I'll be lucky to get a podium. That's my expectation. Top 5 are all super quick. Look at that. Wow. And then there's a big gap, isn't there, after 6th place to 210s. So no, this is the F1 official F1 wheel, not the podium wheel. This is on the CSL Elite sort of club sport base wheel to the Lorgol. Right. So there's a bit of warm up, but frankly I've done all my warm up. So okay, we'll have this race. So it's 2 wins at least. So at least this race, I'd be happy just to finish. I think just top 4 with that. I mean, you look, we've got an S rank in the room, A+. I mean, these are experienced racers that know this track inside out. Probably done many races here, and they will know tactics that I don't have. Because a lot of these guys are doing sort of 4, 5, 6 races a day, whereas this is my 8th race forever. So I've got to learn fast. But I'm second. Okay, talking over. Focus, water. There's a guy on my inside. That was close. Didn't want to compromise both of us through there. So that was an interesting shot from the guy behind. I was aware of it, but you'll notice I steered away from the corner. But we're going to try and draft this guy all the way down the straight now. Slipstream all the way. I'm going to pull out. He's going to drop in behind me. Going to fall onto that side, and I've got to be quite careful with braking now. And he's braked quite late, so good on him. Trying to get the toe again here. So he's going to try and break the toe a little bit, but there really isn't much point down a straight like this when you're this close. I'll just move with him. Now as long as he's not too erratic, I'm going to do the same again. And he's towing me now. That was a shame. Yeah, he said sorry. That's alright. I don't know how to flash my lights. These things happen. It's given me the place back. Thank you, sir. Wow, amazing. Whoever that guy is, big thanks to him. That was nice. Just got to relax a bit. You guys have just got to relax. That was really risky braking there because I had to go inside, not brake where I normally brake, and keep it tight with two guys on my outside. So he's right on me now, so he'll do me into this braking zone. I'm just going to hold this inside line, but I think he's got it. Just get a bit of draft off him. This is close. This is close racing now. We've got this guy around the outside here having a look. There really is nothing around there. This guy behind me is really risky, because I can tell he's bugger. That's it, let's let him by. That was me trying to defend my position, but that's alright. Let's let these guys through. The tyres are going to start falling off now anyway, so we've just got to be careful and not get penalties. That was close. It was close. He recognised I was there. And we're all giving each other space. This is great. And we've got to try and just keep it together so we don't lose it. Now I've got to decide which side to go on this time. This guy's in this lane, so we're going to move across on this side. We've got more speed, so we're going through. We're going to keep the car straight. I'm going to brake up the inside. These two are neck and neck. This is a dangerous situation behind me. They both brake later than me. Damn, I was trying to brake late there to, now I've got a guy behind me. Give me a little tap to let me know he's there. It's very tricky because if I broke earlier, I get the feeling one of them would have gone in the back of me, and if I break too late, I compromise myself. But we're really playing the long game here. Oh shit! Right, that's it. That's done me. It's done me. I haven't got no points. I swear I was going to get a penalty then. That was it. We are on the limit. Tyres are going. All of our tyres are going now, so we're all adapting our driving. And I've lost a lot of ground on these two. I might not even make it into the draft this time. I've lost the slipstream entirely, haven't I? Damn, I'm on my own. This is not a good situation to be. If these two get a penalty, and it's going to be close. Our tyres are going to fall off big time now, so we're going to brake a bit earlier. They're weaving a bit. I'm not in the slipstream at all. I might be getting elements of it. Tyres are gone again, so we're really going to start struggling now on our lap times. On the bright side, I'm not right next to somebody the whole time. His tyres are doing much better than mine by the looks of his braking. So we're struggling this lap, aren't we? Really struggling. My braking points have completely gone. Now if I was on the medium tyres, would I be doing better? No, I don't think I would be. This guy behind me is battling, those two are battling up front. It's a shame I couldn't have kept in the slipstream there. But, this chap beside me is a late breaker. And look at that, it's not a great lap. I've not really had the chance to sort of settle in and, you know, my tyres are gone, so let him buy it. That was a really good late braking there and a good corner. I'm getting terrible understeer. I'm having to slow right down. This is good though. I really enjoy racing, you know, good races like this. You know, this is good racing all round from everybody. mean, everybody's racing really well in this top pack. Look how much we're all struggling to get through that corner. Well, I will say this. When I look at the rank of all these players around me, I say, do you know what? That's I'm not too disappointed. So, I think given all the action we had in the race, it was challenging. And there we are, it's a finish. So, you know, I have to admit that was a great race. I really enjoyed that. If you think about it, you know, the guy in the Corvette in the lead, look at him, bombing down the road. That was a good race actually. I think because I raced as well as I could race then. You know, yes, there was a bit of challenging, a bit of bumping, but and you could say sometimes, yeah, I could be a bit more aggressive, but I don't want to be. I want to keep my safety rating and improve and learn. There's no point being aggressive with people who are clearly a little bit quicker every lap. So that was a good race, guys. I enjoyed that. I'm going to save the replay of that actually. I think that was a... Yeah, that was a good. I mean, I'm pleased with that. That was a good drive. It was. We had a lot of competitive action. I think at the end there, what threw me was, some of you saw it. The guy hit the wall, and I went to the back of him, and I lifted, and then just lost touch with those two guys after that. And I thought that kind of disrupts your flow. But no, good race. That was one of my best races. I really enjoyed the whole. You know, you've got to have races that are. You know, more sort of dicey like that to learn your racecraft. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, everybody. All square, I was told. Thanks. That was a good race. Yeah, and some clean driving as well. All right, done. Yeah. So there you go. That was good, wasn't it? I mean, when you look at the rankings there, I think it all went. You know, you think that's 3 A's and an S rank competing. I think that's a good solid finish actually. So it means that when I work my way up to sort of B and maybe A, depends, then at least I'll be competitive with these guys. So, oh, let's save the replay. Nearly forgot. I am going to have a little break because that was quite stressful actually. It's quite intense, wasn't it? That was intense. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, that's all right. It's okay. These things happen. I think the problem is when people tap you, like he tapped me there, and that sort of sent me into a wall. But we're both on the limit, and I think that I knew that he just didn't mean that. He did everything he could to stop the car. I think, you know, no point getting stressed over things like that. You know, it's racing. That's racing. Let's take a look now at the replay, and then I'm going to catch up on all of your comments, because I've not been ignoring you guys. Obviously, it's quite intense when you're racing. Just to if you look at a comment and you should be thinking about something else, then mistakes will happen. So I guess that's the one. And let's take a look at that. That was a hell of a race. Not as strategic as I was hoping though, in terms of there's no pit stops and no tyres. Well, there's tyres, but there's no pit stops with the fuel strategy and everything. I did like the fuel strategy in the race last week. I thought that added a lot to the needing to pit, the needing to refuel. I've turned off the menu music because it keeps getting flagged by YouTube, which is a bit of a pain. It's a shame you can't just switch to in-house selection. So many games now have licensed music mixed in with their playlists. I think the worst for that is Forza Horizon. Without the music, it's lifeless. So let's take a little look at this. I'm just going to turn down the sound. I know it's loud. Okay, so that should be, let me know if you can hear me okay. So we just have a little look at the replay of that. I tell you, that was a race. That was a race, viewers, wasn't it? That was a race. Those were top racers there, pushing hard. Well, I think what a race like that shows, though, is that if any one of those guys had got a penalty, they were going to be out of the top 5. And I think that's what's so great about it. Luckily, none of us got penalties. Turn 1 was a bit dicey. Look at that, round the outside. I knew he was there, but I gave him just enough space. Because what's the point turning in on somebody? You've got to just round the outside. But then I thought, no. You see the guy behind me, I was thinking he's going to want to go up the inside. I'm not going to let him in there. So I'm going to take that space, because I can see where he's going. I'm not going in there. I need to keep that. So you sort of move yourself like double parking, essentially, across 2 lanes. Now here's a fast point, but it's risky to follow people through here. You need to get your entry right and progressive on the exit. So we really use up a lot of our tyres on that section of the track. It could be very progressive. That's where you can get penalties very easily. Wishbone would beat all of us in a Group B rally car, no question. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. I will be testing Dirt Rally 2.0. There'll be a load of preview content on here when the time comes, and I'll whack on the Sparco rig, and I'll do my best. But I enjoy rally, but I'm not as good at rally as I am at grip racing. With Codemasters physics, of course. So coming around that first lap, looking for a gap on the inside. What am I trying to do? Destabilise him a bit. I know that, and I see that guy there gave me a little tap there. But I just thought, no, there was never any space for him to go through there. So you just got to keep calm and go around the outside. But he sort of compromised his own exit there, and I got a good slipstream. So it's really tricky getting away. First place got away on that lap because of all the action behind him, and that gave him a really easy race, comparatively speaking. Can't hear cars at all. Okay, guys. There we go. There we go. So you should hear the cars now. So Formula 1 TG. Ah, Tim. Watching there, and yes. So we can hear the cars now. We should be able to hear the cars. So Dirt 2 content will probably begin at some point. I expect we'll get to see a much more developed version of the game in January. And we've got a new person just subscribed there as well. The sound effect isn't working. The sound effect isn't working. I'll find out what's going on there. So new subscriber, brilliant. I just missed it. Say hello. And so that was a really competitive race. Just working my way through here. You see where we are. Again, just following this guy through this section. A little bit deep, compromises the exit a bit, but we're pushing, using all the space, but not touching that wall, because you will get a penalty. Here you go wide and you cut in. You can take that flat, but again, it's risky with tyres wearing. And this corner is always a bit understeery on the way in. Wide opens up on the exit. This corner is the one I find the most difficult in many respects, because the gradient means you can oversteer on entry very easily. And then that's flat always. And now you're looking for your brake marker. You can use the boards at the top. I actually use a bit of the shadow in the ground as my brake marker. It's a black line that sort of helps. So whatever side of the track you're on, you can work out roughly where your boards are and stuff. And these are all the things you're looking at. And so close enough to slipstream. And that's better now. We can hear the cars. So again, a slipstream this time, and this was a real dice with these guys. But this guy in front of me, I think this is where he goes into the back of me actually. Actually, I should find an artist who's willing to do a top quality VFV paint job at some point, top quality livery for me. So he's gone behind me. You can see immediately slipstreams behind me, and I'm holding the inside line because I thought, no, I'm not going to let you inside. But as he's staying there, and move across to take the outside line a little bit, which destabilised him because he wasn't expecting. Oh, he wasn't expecting that. Went into the back of me, and he made his move too late. Basically, you know, you've got to make your move before the braking zone. So then you're working your way around, and that sort of throws you off a little bit. Then it sort of threw off our lap times a bit, and that got me into the slipstream of the guys behind. And yeah, if we can find a top livery guy or something, a GT Planet guy who's really good at it, please do. We'll design the car. And again, he made a mistake. He let me by there because he went into the back of me, which was really nice of him. And then I had a bad few corners, a really bad few corners, and I could see he was right there. But I figured, you know, our speed isn't terrible. I can see where he is. He's not going around there. Look how close we all are. My goodness me. Now I can see here there's a bundle going on behind me, and I'm really concerned about this. But there's not much I can do. I cross all the way to the inside because I figure let's brake on the inside, drive these guys all around the outside, because then they won't get past me. It was the only thing I could think of to hold them all off. But I knew that I was a sitting duck when it came to the straight, basically. There's not much you can do, but good to keep track position. So cycle through the gears, and I figure let's hold the inside line, let's force them wide in terms of, you know, perhaps having a chance of recapturing the line before the end of the straight. You can see he's coming up this time, and I think in a moment, oh no, side by side. And I've got good speed. I had quite a good speed there. I got a really good exit, so it wasn't. I didn't need to dive in straight behind him. It took a while for him to come up next to me. And now I'm looking at the guy behind, moving around a lot. I'm a little bit concerned at this point, but so I block him off. Essentially, I'm thinking, no, I can see your game. You're going to do a late lunge. I'm just going to head you off. If you cover that space, then he already knows when he gets to the braking zone. It's all about making a decision before you get to the braking zone, but not long before, long enough for us all to not crash into each other. I can see how Larry is getting here. He's on me, and he's quicker than me. His tyres, he's just protected his tyres better, basically, than I have. I've been using my tyres quite a lot. I got a bad exit somewhere there, and that was it. I'm compromised through here. Touched the wall a bit on the exit, and that's it. He goes around my outside. Again, no point blocking. Let's just use that to keep it together. I can't believe how close this racing is. It really was very close from all of us. This is brilliant racing from everybody. Really good. So my tyres are wearing quite a bit at this stage, and what happens is you're turning in, and you've got to brake longer than you normally would. You're turning in and getting more understeer, so you're modulating everything while you're driving, and there's risks you're taking here. Like, this is a heavy braking zone, but you don't want to, when you're on the inside and braking a metre or two early, but the car's just understeering more. You can see, look how close we all are on the exit. I'm around the outside there. He knows I'm there, and he gave me good space and ducks in behind me because he knows, hey, I'm going to get the slipstream. I'm just trying to keep in the slipstream here. So I've got a good slipstream distance from the car in front. This is perfect. If you're too close, you don't have the time to make up the miles per hour. If you're too far behind, obviously you lose it. So there's a sweet spot of drag that you can get all the way down the straight, and so I got a sweet spot. It took me up an extra 165 mile an hour instead of 163 at that point. 160 to 161 if you're qualifying without a car. So now now I know my tyres are already gone. I'm going to a braking zone. I'm thinking, well, these guys are going straight in the back of me, so I'm going to just brake really late. Sent me a bit wide. Didn't hit the wall, did I? No, I was okay, but you can see those guys just mugged me into that corner. There really isn't any room to not be on the limit. If I can stay ahead of this guy next to me, I thought I'm doing all right. But we are all really quick here, aren't we? I mean, this is close stuff. My tyres are really going though. I got poor traction on that exit. He's all over me, but I think, well, let's keep track position here. Sit through here. this is quite on the limit again with grip. You can see the car losing it there. I was pushing hard as I could, but just couldn't get traction. And again, someone mentioned earlier about the brake bias. One of my issues is the brake. I'm not adjusting my brake bias in the same way as everybody else. So had I adjusted the brake bias, I would have been in better shape. But I'm going to study that. I'm going to go away, study the brake bias, and that would have probably got me a podium position instead of 5th. But I'm working with what I've got. I'm adjusting with what I've got, and that might be why I'm getting, better traction on exits at times in terms of the way I'm driving, my style through the corner. Still being a bit aggressive at times. Wouldn't get into the corner. It looks better on the replay than it felt when I was driving. But I just fell out of the range there. This is where I was talking about the range, where I was falling out of slipstream. I was about 1 or 2 meters off of where I wanted to be. We're not quite close enough to get up, I think, here now. When your tyres fall off like that, your grip all the way down the straight is slower because your tyres just aren't gripping the ground as much. It just makes all that difference. There's always a bit of slip in the tyres as you're going down the straight. So we're not closing on each other now. This is what's really impressive about motorsport, is when you have drivers racing, and people who don't know think, oh, they're just driving the same car. But this car now is completely different from the one we started the race with just a few laps ago. You can see the understeer there, you can hear the tyres completely gone. I'm trying to get the car in. I'm actually turning in earlier, braking earlier, and understeering through the corner. So working through there on my limit there, just taking it a little bit easier. I'm just trying to find my limit now, because I figure there's no point, I can't keep up with those other two. They've got a better setup of some kind in terms of their setup on the brakes, and I've got to learn that. This is the difference when you're racing top class drivers. Don't think, oh, I could never beat them, I could never be that quick. Think what are they doing that's helping them? When are they changing gear? When are they holding in gear? Are they holding in gears longer? Are they short shifting? Are they using a different brake bias? Look at all these details. Look at their line through corners. Look how hard they're on the brakes. Are they harder on the brakes than me? Perhaps they are. So do I need to change my brake sensitivity? If I've got a new wheel, should I change my brake sensitivity? Could that help me? It's all these little things that you want to check so that you can get it just right. So Wicked Juice says someone needs to upload the logo to the GT website. Okay, I'll look into that, uploading a logo, and then if people want to make some cool liveries for different cars, that would be great. I want to find a designer who's good at it to really work with and design something that's menacing. When you put a big VV logo on the bonnet of this car, it looks menacing coming up behind you. So. And it'll stand out as well. Stand out in terms of the overall design. So again here, my tyres are gone. There's two ways you can look at this when you're racing. Some people might get into a kind of blocky, oh, I'm going to hold him back, desperate for that position, but I'm not. I'm just saying, if he's quick enough to overtake me, then he's quick enough to beat me. Let's get to the end of the race and learn something. Otherwise, you're going to crash. You're going to lose time. And eventually you've learned nothing from it, really, in that sense. You just need to get your data and improve. So through this corner here, nice that time, very progressive that time as well. That was the absolute limit, close to the wall there. It wasn't touching, but it was really close. And again here, lifting, bit of braking even. That was flat before, now we're braking. And here we're normally taking 6th and we're taking it in 5th. And Zacco said if you change your livery you'll actually go faster. This technique works for GT all the time. It does, because the funny thing is, once you've got a livery on your car, it's like, for example, your gamer tag. Years ago when people joined VVV, they got quicker. and I got quicker because once I changed their tag to represent the team at the time, they felt that they had to represent it. It means that, you know, they'd go into a lobby and people would know who VVV are. Do remember that I was the slowest player on the team, so if anyone couldn't beat me, they didn't enter. So, you know, and I was a lot quicker then than I am now. So for me, if I was playing those kind of hours, nothing less than an A level, A sort of plus would do for me. And probably S. I'd want the whole team to be S, otherwise there'd be no point. And that's how we rolled back then. It was, but it's very serious. It's very stressful. There's a lot of hours spent. That's interesting. The maggot. Thanks for that. So we've got here Super GT stream recently. It was decided that front engine rear wheel drive wants rear brake bias mid engine. Okay, that stands to make some sense. I will certainly practice with that. I'm going to do some brake bias practice and just see what other people are doing, basically, in terms of optimizing their laps. But no, I hope you guys enjoyed a bit of that. That was a really, really good race. And I don't know if we'll do one more. I feel quite tired, actually. What time is it? Have a look at the time. Yeah, it's a bit late now. I thought I'd do a late race today, viewers. Let's just, rather than look at something else for a minute, just to see what have we got in campaign. We can do something in campaign, and then I think because it's late. Oh, that was online. That was an online race, and a very good online race you missed there as well. Very good online race. Actually, let's just see what's in there for a moment, because I don't like the other races that are in the. Oh, I don't like the other races that are in the in the sport this week. So I think we'll do one quick campaign race, and then we'll call it a night, viewers. And I'll do some more racing later this week, and constantly work to just take off a bit of lap time here and there, optimize my brake bias as the tyres wear, and that should help me with my overall lap times. I don't have these cars, which is a shame, but I look forward to doing some formula racing on here. What have we got here? Just see what races we've got. You know, I think it's going to be a bit late for me to learn a circuit tonight. See what's on here anyway. We'll have a quick look at which one's this one. Is that? Let's see. Let's just have a quick go on this, and then we'll. I haven't unlocked them yet. No, the endurance races will come. At the moment, I'm doing so. Right now, my plan is to learn the sport mode, really get my head around it, do a whole bunch of races, understand these things like tyre wear this week. You know, all the other guys know how to adjust their brake bias and where it should be. I didn't, and that was my key issue, and that's why everyone was able to brake later than me. Now I know. So, quick race on here, and then we'll call it a night. I hope you enjoy these streams. I'll work to improve them, and I will improve the lighting and everything at some point, and then we'll be ready to go. And right. Right, let's do this, and right. Bear with me, I don't actually know where the braking points are, but I'm sure we'll learn them quite quickly, given that we have a rough idea of where Oh, I haven't done this version of the course. Don't know what speed we go through there. So SMB19 says, what wheel am I using? This is the Fanatec Formula 1, official Formula 1 wheel. It's quite expensive, €600. Not as expensive as the podium wheel. Okay, that was a much earlier braking, more committed braking than I did then. I was coasting into the corner a bit. And so far this is a really excellent wheel. I've got some tweaks to make. Actually, what I'm doing right now, officially, I'm reviewing it. So, but the best way to review a wheel is to race on it, basically. And so, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to race it on here. You're going to see my Formula 1 races soon. But rather than jumping from GT to Formula 1 to GT to Formula 1, I just want to understand one game first. Because otherwise they both handle so differently that it's going to be tricky for me to adapt myself one to the other constantly. That's a nice shiny car, isn't it? And it's, you know, I'm using the base PlayStation here, you know, I'm not using a PS4 Pro. And it just shows how nice this game looks, you know. Don't know how flat we can go through there. I'm gradually doing these campaign races over time, just gradually getting through it, and that way I can get a bit more money and buy a few more cars. I'm quite interested to buy the Formula 1 car, the Mercedes Formula 1 car at some point, just to see how it handles in comparison. I should have taken a wider entrance there, but shame they don't have a proper bonnet cam, isn't it? I mean, you know, you've got this roof cam, but I do find it a bit disorientating. Let's do the Super GT behind car view. I know this view disgusts Gamer Muscle. I actually can't see my gear indicator when I use this view though, because I can't see the bottom of my TV because my webcam's in the way for you guys. So I'm shifting into the wrong gears, but it feels so much slower from this view, doesn't it, when you're in car? Using all the track there. What are we at? Fourth place, and So I wasn't even nearly taking that at full speed before. And I will look at some of your comments in a moment during the replay, so apologies if I'm a bit slower. I tell you, that race took it out of me earlier. That was quite an intense race, but wonderful to have. I mean, that's the sort of racing that I'm enjoying on GT Sport at the moment. You don't get on many games. It's where people are just being respectful. You know, they're not like that guy gave me the position back. That was really respectful. I was really appreciative of that. He didn't need to, but that was really good sportsmanship right there. I don't think I'm actually going to win this, surprisingly. I wasn't pushing hard enough early on. I should have pushed harder in those opening laps to gain a bit more time, but I was just taking it easy. You can see there I'm a little bit quicker than I was. 3 seconds a lap quicker. So it shows when you did learn a course, I mean, we've gone from, if you look at my lap times there, gradually learning the course. You know, I'm getting quicker and quicker. And so if you, I probably won't win this, but if I do it again I would, but I'm not going to. It's a bit off-putting, isn't it? Should have been pushing a bit harder earlier rather than changing views and mucking around. So it's all good practice. Oh, I wasn't looking at the... oh, there's me. Alright, let's just try this brake bias thing actually. Oh. Okay. Just move it all the way to the front. Rear, sorry. So no, rear engines to the front, you guys were saying. Actually, do you know what? Let's start again then. Let's try this. Let's just try to see what it's like. Because the tyres aren't worn, and I think that's the... I do feel that... So maybe... it's just a one switch per lap. Let's just see what it's like with full brake bias. Doesn't help when you've got a car sliding into us. Let's just try and lean on the car a bit more now. Wow. Actually, do you know, I think the car actually just handles plain better. Front brake bias. -5 front. Let's try what? To the rear. It's very difficult to tell without the tyre wear. I need the active tyre wear to give me an idea, because I'm not, without tyre wear it's very difficult to tell. Ice brake balance. Well, yeah, bias. I'll do some research and I'll watch some of the other top players and figure out what they're doing, and then I'll copy them and see if I can beat them. I don't think we're going to win this again. I just had a really bad lap, didn't I? It's heavy braking into turn 1 on that course, so I need to find out if I need to even modulate the brakes through the course. That's going to be the tricky thing. It's going to be the same with Formula 1 though, isn't it? I'm going to need to find a Formula 1 player to really tell me the ins and outs of what they're doing to alter the braking. Fourth place, 3 laps to go. Again, I should have been racing rather than mucking around, but I've got to just see how we get on. What's he braking for? What is he braking for? Braking in acceleration zone. How weird. That is very strange AI behaviour there. I am getting tired now though, I have to admit, I am tired. So I'll probably just have to call it a day there, viewers. I'm a bit tired now. I hope you've enjoyed the racing tonight. It's been really good fun racing, learning a lot all the time. I hope you've enjoyed all the GT Sport. It's been really great getting into a racing game again recently, and as I say, I'll keep on working on the streams, making it look better and better. And then like you say, great to hear of your comments. Big thanks to all of you who are following on Twitch and subscribing on YouTube as well. Really appreciate it, and it supports what we do. Brilliant, couldn't ask for more. So that's it for now, guys. As I say, I will come up with a schedule in the new year of when I'm going to be on, so you guys can follow me, and hopefully more regular on this, and Formula 1, on Dirt Rally, just having some fun and trying different games and stuff like that. So that's it. Listen, that's it for now, viewers. As ever, finished there. More soon.